Ethan Evans was really, really helpful. And I think, especially because I've done resume reviews, it's really helpful to get a point of view from someone like on a resume that already has all the basics down. Again, 90% of the resumes that I review, I'm just like, what's your impact? What are the results? Like, and use your better verbs, and don't forget to add a summary or objective thing. So I thought this was interesting to share because it's like that, you took the 101 resume courses, which are all the content that I have on the YouTube, and this is like maybe like, the 300 level courses or like the 400 level courses when you decide you figured out your major and you're not doing prereqs anymore.
Career profile. All right, this is going to be happy talk about yourself. I can smell it. 3 years creating executive go-to-market campaigns for products, events, and content in gaming after 6 years of working as a mechanical engineer. All right, career transition. Interesting. Not happy talk. As an empathetic communicator, now the happy talk. As a wonderful person who's a wonderful person who does wonderful things, I have launched this other stuff. Back to specifics. Launched a sold-out merchandising campaign and served as liaison to deliver $10 million of engineering equipment. This is relatively meaty, so I obviously am kind of picking on the empathetic communicator, enthusiastic collaborator, and passionate gamer. You are in an area where passion counts, and the gaming and esports can tolerate more of this. What I'm left wondering about, though, again, is what do you want to do? Like, you've told me about yourself. It is interesting that you've transitioned to gaming. This doesn't quite tell a story. It's like three things jammed together. It says you've been working 3 years in marketing after 6 years as a mechanical engineer. Then it says you're this wonderful person. And then it says you've had this different types of success launching social media, merchandising, and delivering engineering equipment. It's kind of all over the place.
I was trying to sell everything about me, which is a problem. I think the first line, I'm trying to say like, hey, I have more experience than just 3 years in esports. I have almost 10 years of experience working. It's just too much, and the story gets watered down, right?
So I think the story you want to tell here is about flexible and capable with a proven track record based on these deliveries, and I would bulletize it. It starts to look like a wall of text, and I might just skip over it and go to the experience. So I hope that helps you.
So this is my new objective. So lead projects and marketing campaigns by creating and executing workflow processes, audience research, and project milestones/schedules. So I really wanted to better focus on like the job that I'm aiming for or my responsibilities, which I get to cheat because literally like I guess this would be what my job is at Evil Geniuses now, starting in 2 weeks or so. Still, it shows like the things I'm really good at, what makes me stand out. And then I want them to think about like, oh, Sam does audience research, understand processes, and can set up projects and schedules. So now when they read all these other bullet points, they're thinking about him like, oh, he did his audience research. That's why he's really good at YouTube. All right. Like, oh, when he said self-sustaining and improving workflow, okay, so he set up processes, he figured them out, and like the machine is running by itself, right? So that's why I think an objective is so important. You can influence everything that's read after that if you've done a good job and made it like created an impact with your objective. Proven, flexible executor and leader that found success in both esports and mechanical engineering. I probably should put industries or something like that, but I think I ran out of room. Career successes: amassed 20 million views on YouTube and social media campaigns, gained 1 million organic social media impressions for GG's Media Day sponsored event, designed, tested, and fabricated $15 million of engineering equipment. So I bumped it up a little bit because he was like, yeah, is 10 million actually that impressive? I'm like, yeah, maybe I did more. I don't remember, but I just put it at 15 million. I think that's a good estimate, a positive, happy estimate.
The key thing, though, is now there's an objective, and Sam has summarized his key accomplishments right up here. Here's someone who's saying, look at these things I've done. Here's 3 top bullets of what I can do. And I think that stands out because now I can kind of make a decision. Does this resume interest me or not right here? Like, does it sound like this person does things I need or doesn't? So now we talk about what you're doing. Golden State Warriors Esports generated 20 plus million views on YouTube by leading a team, which is great. You've bolded a key number. You say you've generated it. Delivered 600 videos by setting production and delivery times, delivery milestones, communicating key project details, and tracking KPIs to create feedback for improvement. Led the first sold-out merch launch. Merch is a shorthand, but led the first sold-out merchandising launch of what? What were you merchandising, right? Led the first merchandising campaign for goal or of t-shirts or something that sold out by collaborating with these other people. Led a cross-functional media day team to plan necessary deliverables and creative assets.
You know, another reason why you want to get your resume reviewed or looked at by someone else is you forget like jargon, right? And then for this merch, I just keep thinking merch is clothing. And I thought that was obvious, but it's not. It could be pencils. It could be water bottles. It can be apparel. So that was another thing, like to get a fresh eye on someone that doesn't necessarily understand all the jargon. And think about who you're applying to, right? If you're applying to a company that knows your jargon, then you use it and you name drop and you can shorthand certain things. If you think the person that's going to be looking at your resume will understand that, right? Which could be an HR person, which could be a recruiter for the company, those kind of things. So really have to think, how do you make your language accessible and what language you want to use for the correct audience, right?
Led a cross-functional media day team to plan necessary deliverables and creative assets, which included photo shoots, video production, a live stream, etc. Why? What was the goal of the media day? Decreased media day project time 25%, 4 weeks by optimizing. Great. What was the point of the media day? But it's good.
Yeah, so this was really interesting because I thought it was obvious. And then I realized, looking back at previous revisions on my resume, like I explained more about what Media Day was, but it was like way too long. So then I thought like, oh, maybe just saying Media Day, like even though people don't know what that might be, maybe that's intriguing enough where they want to have an interview with me and talk about it, right? Like I accomplished something, the accomplishment's really cool. Now they want to know the details about Media Day. Leaving them with questions can be a good thing, you know? Or it could just be like, I don't get it, and they give up. So I think that's also a really good point to like explain what Media Day is, which I thought people would understand.
So this is where I had criticized there should be information in what Media Day is. Led a cross-functional Media Day team to collect 90% of our year's creative assets and sponsorship deliverables in a single day of photo shoots. Okay, that is much more impressive. So you made clear what Media Day was useful for, as well as the fact that you did it and reduced the timeline. So that is an improvement. I'm going to look at the last two bullets real quick. Increase yearly social media impressions 300% by managing a team of 10 freelance editors. To do what? Increase yearly social media impressions engagement 300%. Great. By managing a team of 10 freelance editors. Great. To do what? To improve. How did you get the increase? To improve the volume and relevancy of the content they made. That's how you did it, or however you did it. But that the missing word here is by doing what?
Increase yearly social media impressions and engagements 300% by managing a team of 10 freelancers through paid, earned, and owned media models. 2, increase output volume, brand loyalty, and fan growth, right? So again, like why I did things.
By the way, though, generally this is good, right? Generated, delivered, led, decreased. These are like specific action words that none of this shows you being ordered around. Like, delivered is way better than responsible for production of 600 videos. That would be lame. Delivered 600 videos is great.
That's a really big point. And a lot of the resumes that I've reviewed for this community and the people that have asked for them, the action verbs are so unimpressive. Like helped or like was given the responsibility for versus like all these things make it sound like and I think also accurately like portray like me leading and getting things done. I would even say when you talk about like mechanical engineering stuff, like served as an equipment specialist and liaison versus coordinated scheduled tasks between engineering teams to meet milestones, troubleshoot issues. So that's agency. I'm doing something, I'm leading something, I am creating progress versus like I am a tool, I'm a screwdriver for my boss so that he can get this screw into the wood. I don't know. Or something like that.
I'm a little confused. Like, what is your role here? In other words, these are all your activities. What is the goal?
It's weird. I'm a product manager, but I'm also could say that I'm a product marketing manager, and I could also say I'm a project lead. So he's as confused as I am about my job title at Golden Guardians too. So I think that's really funny because that is being communicated clearly that there is a lack of clarity on what my job actually is, right? Which, again, is just hilarious. And it's funny because I technically still had the title Esports Marketing Analyst, but I got permission from my boss to be like, he's like, hey, I'll just back you up on whatever job title name you want on your resume or whatever for reference. Like, I'll back it up. But it's esports, it's startup-y, you wear multiple hats, blah, blah, blah. So it gets really confusing.
You know, if there were a bullet at the top that said, my job, this sounds like a marketing role, not product management. Because everything here feels like marketing. And in fact, you were esports marketing before that. You're doing a great job showing me what you did with each bullet. You're not telling me a story of why this role matters and is helping the Golden State Warriors esports get somewhere. So it's very good in the micro. I need the macro story. And again, it ties back a little bit to what's your objective. You can put that up front. Lead product marketing with goal to increase viewership, to increase return visits, to sell stuff, whatever it is. And then show how you did that. See, some jobs, it's obvious what you're trying to do. In your job, which is a little unusual, it's not obvious to the casual reader, like, what is this person trying to do? And so your accomplishments, which are well written generally, don't flow back to a clear story of you being successful and valuable in the role. That's the opportunity.
Anyway, experience, product marketing manager. So I changed that title. And then the first bullet point is what he was asking for, like my role. Right? Led projects through creation, operation, and marketing for a variety of projects, marketing and content, events, and merchandise that increased player organizational popularity, secured sponsorships, and created new revenue streams. And it was so funny. Like after he asked like why I'm doing it, I didn't really know. And I had to really think about why I'm doing it. So like now that I think about this is what my boss was looking for, or this is what our goals were, but I realized it wasn't very, very clear. Like my scope of understanding of what I was doing for the company was like, my boss has a problem, wants me to explore it, and I did it. You know, and again, when we talked before about those like those action verbs, like impact verbs, like that, I just described it as not really being impact focused, but more just like really passive, not active. So I thought that was a nice change.
So a little bit more explanation of what the person does in this first bullet is good. Many of the other bullets are kind of fundamentally unchanged, but I think they were not bad to begin with. They had results in them. Content producer and video editor, freelance, created go-to-market campaigns. This is probably fine because you're not trying to say a lot about it. But again, if you can have an impact, it's great. Otherwise, you can have it how it is. This seems like filler almost. I know it has to be here because it's what you did. You can also point about, though, this is how you made the transition from mechanical engineering. You know, worked as a freelancer in order to transition from mechanical engineering to my passion in esports. That's a powerful story.
So this was something that I never thought of and I added. So gained the following skills in transition from engineering to esports that secured employment with GSW Esports. I think that's poorly worded. I should fix that. But social media management and marketing, content production and marketing, Adobe Suite, and PM software. By the way, if you guys don't follow Ethan Evans, his YouTube channel, him on LinkedIn, on his Discord, definitely want to check it out. You don't have many resources that kind of speak to roughly our demographic when it comes to gaming and esports. He's older, he's been around, and he's been really successful, so he has really, really good advice, and I take a lot of things that he says to heart, and I've also tested a lot of things he said, which kind of had me help grow my career.